Okay, guys, so in this episode we are going to take care of leap years in Rust, so let's get into it. So the challenge I have now is called Leap, and states that given a year, report if it is a leap year. The tricky thing here is that a leap year is the Gregorian in the Gregorian calendar occurs on every year that is evenly divisible by 4, except every year that is evenly divisible by 100, unless the year is also evenly divisible by 400. For example, 1997 is not a leap year, but 1996 is, 1900 is not a leap year, but 2000 is, yada yada yada. Alright. So I had a look at this, and this is like even before I started working on it, I kind of felt, alright, this problem here seems very similar to the FISBUS algorithm coding test. So I kind of thought that this is probably going to be solved by modulus. I didn't really know, but let's just have a look. So we had all these different methods here in our little tests here, and I saw that, alright, so we have the leap crate, and is leap year function 1996 should equal true and false, and yeah. So it's basically just a function that takes a number, an integer of some sort, and returns a Boolean value. And then I had a look at the method, or the function, and I saw that, alright, cool, I'm taking a year that is of the type an integer, like a 32-bit integer, and I'm supposed to return a Boolean value. So the first thing I did was to just return a base case, like just return false for all of it, and that basically I returned true first, and that gave me my success on this first test, and then I enabled the next test, and then I kind of thought, alright, so it was supposed to be evenly divisible by 4, so I started by making this little piece here, and I said, alright, so if the year with the modulus operator, for the juniors out there, the modulus operator basically just means that try to divide the first thing by the next thing as many times as you can and give the remainder back. And basically what this means is that if I apply the modulus operator with 4 to year, and that's equal to 0, that means that year is evenly divisible by 4. That's all this is doing. And since the first requirement was that, alright, so a leap year is a year that is divisible by 4, we return true if that's the case. And that made me pass my first test, and then I went on to the next test, and that didn't work, and then I kind of remembered that, okay, cool. So this clause here says that if the number is divisible by 100, however, it should not be a leap year. Okay. That means that we need to check that before we check the first clause. So I put that line of code here, and I said, alright, so if the number is evenly divisible by 100, we return false. And that made me kind of succeed on the next test, and I think this test as well, can't remember really. But finally I came to this scenario here where like I had to check if it was evenly divisible by 400 as well, because this trips you up a little bit, this clause here, where it states that, alright, unless the year is also evenly divisible by 400, which means that, alright, so if it's evenly divisible by 4, we should return true. But it should be false if it's divisible by 100, but it should be true if it's divisible by 400 and 100. That's what I read anyway. And so finally I put this last little if up here, basically making a check for both 400 and 100 and return true. And as you can see now, all my tests are passing. And that's basically how I solved this little exercise. Have a great day.